is SaaS dead? One of the big triggers of the Saaspocalypse and all the kind of billions, hundreds of billions that were wiped out stocks over the last few days is the whole world got their hands on, or at least were given the opportunity to get their hands on the agentic power of Claude Code when Anthropic released Claude CoWork a few weeks ago. And so back to our opening conversation, when you work with agentic tools like this, you build prompts, you build context, you build skills. And when I say skills, I don't mean the human skill. I mean, you are developing skills for the tool. And these skills are what we used to call it prompt engineering back in the day, but it's a lot more than just, typing in a few lines of a prompt and then hoping for a good answer. It can be hundreds of lines of very detailed prompting or context you provide to the model to get specific outputs. Let's remember, what is a model? It's a compression of all the world's human knowledge into one, blob that you're then trying to activate. You say, everything, model. Now, how can I activate that and get you to use all that knowledge to analyze a problem for me, create some content for me, do something meaningful for me? And that's where the prompts, that's where the contexts are helping. And so Anthropic, they released a number of prompts or a number of sort of context blobs for Claude CoWork, including one in legal work. And it wasn't a massive thing. It was sort of 2,500 lines of prompt that was released on GitHub. You can go there and see what it is. But it turns out that was really, really good at legal work because they've kind of codified a lot of the work that you do in the legal world when you compare documents and you analyze contracts, etc. And the models are exceptional at that. They're language experts. And so people got really scared and they said, listen, if you can this simply prompt one of these models, an Anthropic model or an OpenAI model, to deliver such powerful legal analysis, why do we need all these tools? And so a lot of companies got hammered on the back of this. RELX, they had the worst day since 1988, down 14%. Thomson Reuters, down 16%. LegalZoom, down 20%. Absolutely hammered. And a lot of these were European businesses, actually. So they're not sort of classical software companies, but more like data publishers that were seen as very vulnerable because of all these new tools we have. So I think that the steelman argument is we got the AI models, they're there, and the only thing now we need to work out is how to use them to make all these traditional software platforms redundant. And it's much, much easier than people think. Okay.
Sorry, go.
No. So that's the steelman argument for why this is the end of SaaS. I've got the other side as well, because the truth is, look, the cloud has been around for 20 years. Well, we're still running on-prem software. It's not gone away. And you know what? Today, we are still using mainframes, right? It's a 60-year-old technology that still processes a lot of banking transactions, a lot of travel reservations. Behind all the things we see, there's probably a mainframe somewhere tucking away. Now, IBM has gone from being the world's most valuable company to more of a utility when it comes to mainframes. And that's probably the real threat. Maybe not so much that the companies all blow up, but that they retrade from kind of where they are today at maybe 40 times earnings down to 12 times earnings, which is more like utility. Yeah. And of course, that will lead to a lot of value compression. So that's what's got everybody scared.
Yeah, I'd love to be, what I was going to say before is I'd love to be in Peter Steinberger's inbox, because I'm sure OpenClaw was another reminder to the market as to the function that's now available. And I bet he's being courted by plenty of very powerful people in our spheres.
Yes.
Lomax, anything you'd add to this? Anything that's on your mind?
I know we're not called downside, but it's a shame that when these things happen, the drawdown is like particularly hit. This is the first time we've talked about Europe for this pod, and I think it's about the drawdown in a lot of these data publishers. Look, I think this is an overcorrection, as often happens in the market, right? We see this clearly. This is a long-term trend that SaaS is going to be eaten and whittled away, right, by agentic workflows, etc. But this is an overcorrection, I think. Like, as Mads points out, like, this doesn't take in the slowness to adoptive enterprise, right? There are still people, within these organizations who are taking the more risk-averse decisions. And also, it's very, very complicated to roll out AI and agentic workflows and processes across these organizations, right? So I think while the trend is there, This is definitely an overcorrection, I'd say.
But
I
Relics, Thomson Reuters, LegalZoom, they're not exactly they're the worst hit. They're not exactly the
over the long term, yeah, those business models are in
leading
trouble.
drivers in the industry. Yeah.
No, but those business models are in trouble for sure.
We've seen a big correction in the people that probably needed a bit of a slap. Is that fair?
Yeah, and look, don't put it this way: like, no general counsel in a Fortune 500 company is going to be sacking all of their lawyers and just replacing them with agents overnight, right? There's still going to be a lot of lawyers internally who are still using LexisNexis and all these other products that they need and have used today. So it will be much more gradual than the markets have taken into account this week.